अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नारायण परावेदा देवा नारायणाङ्गजाः नारायण परालोका नारायण परामखाः नारायण परो योगो नारायण परं तपः नारायण परं ज्ञानं नारायण परागतिः। तस्मातेकेन मनसा भगवान् सात्वतां पतिः श्रोतव्य कीर्तितव्यश्च ध्येय पूज्यश्च नित्यदा। जयति जगति मायां यस्य कायाधवस्ते वचरनचनमेहं केवलं शाकलय्य ध्रुवपथमपि यातो यत्कृपातो ध्रुवोऽयं सकलकुशलपात्रं ब्रह्मपुत्रं नतास्मि। सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः. We are seeing the Narada Bhakti Sutras, and we saw that when one turns into the path of devotion, or when one decides that I want to lead the spiritual life, he has to depend on the Shastras, and the Shastras will protect him. This Sri Narada Muni says to his Bhaktas. So, in what all matter, one has to depend on the Shastras. That he says in these two sutras. That is, Sutra 14, let us see. Lokopi tavadyeva bhojanadi vyavarastva sharira dharanavati. So one has to depend on the Shastras. On what all matters? Sri Narada Muni says, Loka Vyapara, that is social activities and how to conduct our life. What is our lifestyle? That. Then Bhojana, very important, food, and Sharira, how to take care of this Sharira. For these three matters, one has to depend on the Shastras, and the Shastras will guide us to that extent till we reach that final stage. So it is always a difficult phase for all the people in that turning phase, in whatever matter it may be. From the school education, when we go to the college education, this is a very restricted area, like military area, that school life. And when we go to that complete freedom area of college, many will be shattered in life. So for that, the parents has to give proper guidance with proper words and proper mentality. Only then it will help the child to come over that phase. So in that turning phase, that changing phase is very difficult. Even in other matters, when we are studying and when we get a job, that changeover phase will be also difficult. So just like that, when we completely lead the secular life, that is worldly activities, or when we participate in all that worldly activities, and suddenly when we have an interest that I want to change in the path of devotion, so that changeover phase will be very difficult. We do not know what to do or what not to do. So we involve in all those wrong things, and sometimes we get completely mentally disturbed by even that. Many of the sannyasis in today's world, they go in the wrong way because they have not been properly guided in the changeover phase. They have not taken the Shastras for guidance, and not were there any proper guru to guide them properly. So that changeover phase is very difficult. Sri Narada Muni doesn't say that we have immediately, when we decide that I am going to take the spiritual path, we have to live in a secluded place under the cave. No, not like that. When we go to that extreme practices in the beginning itself, at one stage we will be broken off. So that is not permitted. That is not recommended. But we have to balance our secular life as well as the spiritual life properly till we reach or we climb up the ladder of spirituality to a great level. For that, we have to depend on the Shastras. It doesn't mean that we should lead a secluded life, not participate in any functions, not participate in any festivals or like that. But we can do all that tavat eva, like what is said in the scriptures. Many of the scriptures like Ramayana or Mahabharata tell about the do's and don'ts of this life. Vituranidhi is a great example for how to lead a life. So, like this, many shastras are there. So we can get the help of those shastras and get guidance from it and decide how to live in this world when we decide for the spiritual life. So, for that, we have to depend on the Shastras. For what? Loka Vyapara. How to conduct our life. What should be our lifestyle like that. Then, Bhojana. But very important. Food. Food is very important because in the Hindi, there is a very great saying, Jaisan Vaisaman. That is, in what we eat, like that, our mind will be. That's why the people in the spiritual path are recommended for sattvic food. Sattvic food is recommended because in whatever we eat, whatever food we eat, whether it is vegetarian or non-vegetarian, the grossest part of it will be absorbed by the seven dhatus and everything by our physical body. The vitamins will go to the cells, then to build up a protein and all that physical purpose. That grossest part of the food we consume will be extracted, will be taken away. The subtlest part of the food, that is the energy part of the food, goes to the mind. To that energy will invoke the thoughts in us. Already we have many thoughts, all the good thoughts as well as the bad thoughts, good impressions, evil impressions, bad impressions, everything in our mind. It is a conglomerate of thoughts. When we take sattvic food, that positive thoughts will be induced or will be activated. If we take rajasic food, then the ferocious thoughts, that is, thoughts with high energy, that will be activated. When we take tamasic food, then it will not induce anything. It will be in a dull mode, not to do anything, always feeling lazy. So the subtlest part of the food will go to the mind to invoke the thoughts in us. So that is why the people in spirituality has to strictly follow the sattvic diet. But sometimes some people have to overcome it, but they have to compensate with it. And tavat eva, as far as how far the shastras recommended. Some people may argue that Sri Rama went to the forest and he took the meat of the deer. So all that are exceptional situations. What else will Sri Rama eat other than that flesh? Because he may not get the fruits and grains as he gets in Ayodhya. So all these are exceptions, and we do not know under what circumstance a people consumes non-vegetarian food. Also, they may have some their physical needs, or we do not know. But the main point of consuming the rajasic or tamasic food is it will influence the mind. So we have to take care of the food we eat, the sattvic food when we eat. It will help us to induce our spiritual thoughts in us. The sattvic foods, like very common examples of the sattvic food is milk, then rice, chawal, then potatoes in vegetable. So all these are considered as very, very sattvic food. So food is very important. For that, we have to depend on the Shastras or take the guidance from the Shastras. The next thing is the Sharira. Sharira is very important because this is an instrument. We have to cross the samsara sagara using this instrument as a boat. So it is when we reach the other bank, then we can leave this boat or this is Sharira. When we have reached that pinnacle of bhakti, then we can ignore this body. But till then, we should not ignore. We have to respect it. And by respecting the body means we have to do proper exercises, that is pranayama and all that. Give it right food, not only food, right thoughts, because the thoughts also influence our body. Thoughts, to a large extent, it influences our body. So, right food for the mind. We should read the Shastras, always be in the spiritual thought. So, all this will help to maintain this body perfectly till we reach the pinnacle of bhakti. When we reach that, then we can ignore it. We have seen that many acharyas tell that this body should not be, it should be ignored, it should not be given to so much importance. It should not be given so much importance, or we should be so much attached to the body, but we have to respect the body. Even a jnani needs this body for spiritual evolvement. A person without this body cannot do any spiritual sadhanas. That is why even the devas, they want to come to this earth, take a physical body, attain brahmajnana, then become rishi, then ignore this body. So it's a cycle. So we have to respect this body but not attach it to this body beyond an extent. And it is commonly said that the rishis, that is the Siddha Purushas, consider this body as a temple because they always emphasize the point that Bhagavan is in us. They give so much of importance for the Antaratma. We have seen that many Siddha Purushas, they even say that we need not go to the temple or do puja. We have to respect this Antaratma. That is the real meaning of Prata Stotram also. That is the three beautiful sutras which we have to chant in the early morning and worship our own Atma because it is Brahman, it is all pervading. So we have to respect this body, respect and take care of the food we eat, and maintain this social activities. Or how for Tavadev, how for the scriptures allow us, that for we can involve in the worldly activities. Because in the initial stages, the scriptures are very important. When we have reached that certain level of spirituality, then we itself will know what to do and what not to do. And all the other things will wither off from our lifestyle. So till then, we have to depend on the Shastras. In the next sutra, that is the Sutra 15, Sri Narada Muni tells his bhaktas about the Lakshanas of Para Bhakti. Lakshanas of Para Bhakti, he is explaining. Tal lakshanani vachante nanamata bhedat. So, the Parama Bhaktas, that is the Bhaktas who follow the Parama Prema, they have some lakshanas. So, what are these lakshanas? Lakshana means a pointer or a symbol or a indication that he is a Parama Bhakta. For example, when a person has a fever, high temperature, then his body will ache, his head will pain, even he will have that taste difference in the tongue. So all these are the lakshanas to indicate that person is having high temperature. So just like that, there are few lakshanas which indicate that this person has para bhakti or parama prema towards Bhagavan. And the sutra also tells that lakshanani. Lakshanani means that it indicates the plurality. So there are many lakshanas, not only one lakshana, many lakshanas. And it is also not the experience of a single person or a single bhakta. It is the experience of the entire bhakta samaja. Bhakta samaja means the entire bhaktas in the whole creation itself. They may follow different religion or different form of Bhagavan. So whatever it may be, it's not that. When we have that parama prema towards Bhagavan, whatever form of Bhagavan we may worship, or whatever religion or race, whatever it may be, he is telling Nana Mata Bedat, whatever the religion and whatever the rules it may be, the feeling of the entire Bhakta Samaja or the symptoms of the entire Bhakta Samaja, not one or two, whoever has bhakti, whatever religion or whatever it may be, that indication Sri Narada Rishi tells in this sutra. However, these Lakshanas are not common because the basic thing is that bhakti is a feeling. It, it is based on a person's thoughts, karmic tendencies, and so many other things will influence a person to go to that level of para bhakti. So these Lakshanas are not common, but we can say that some Lakshanas are common, maybe the flowing of tears from the eyes when we think of Bhagavan, the that blissful expression in the face, horripilations all over the body. So these may be some Lakshanas, but it will differ from person to person. It may or may not differ. Sometimes it will be common and sometimes it may not be common. So the Lakshanas are not common and so it cannot be judged by anyone other than us. So when a person feels that I sweat when I worship Bhagavan, that Lakshana may not be common with the other person. So the other person may object to it. So he may say that no, it won't be like that. You will have that blissful feeling. That is Bhagavan, experience of Bhagavan or experience of Parama Prema. The other person may reject it. So one should not take it to the heart and get dejected by it. Many people do that. They will just recheck with by telling their experience of bhakti with others. Since it is not a common experience, others may or may not accept it. If they do not accept it, then the bhaktas will get dejected. So it is better to keep the experiences to their own self. So, but definitely there will be lakshanas. The one of the main lakshana when we enter in the stage of para bhakti is the presence, the feeling of Bhagavan. Whatever we do, even when we do puja or when we do abhisheka or when we chant mantras or when we meditate on Bhagavan, will feel the presence of Bhagavan. They may hear the tingling sound of his anklets, or they may sometimes feel the fragrance of a sandal paste. Sometimes they will feel the fragrance of kumkum or basma. So all these according to their different mentalities and the form of worship they do, the way they worship Bhagavan. So it is all dependent on that. And some bhaktas will feel the presence of Bhagavan. Someone is near us. So when they open their eyes, they cannot see. But when they close their eyes, they can feel it. Very well feel it. And some people may get the fragrance of flowers. So these are all some of the common indications for the presence of Bhagavan. One may or may not feel the same. It is, as I said, it is based on our emotions, feeling, karmic tendencies and everything. So many things are that. So it may not be common. These feelings may or may not be common. It may be common or may not be common, but these are some of the indications of para bhakti. And Sri Narada Muni explains the bhakti of different bhaktas. For Parikshit, it is Shravana Bhakti. He entered in that para bhakti state by listening to Srimad Bhagavata, Parikshit, Shravana Bhakti. For Shuka Brahmarishi, Kirtana Bhakti. By telling the glories of Bhagavan, he always often entered in that blissful state. For Prahlada, Smarana Bhakti. Thinking of Bhagavan, always repeating about the thoughts of Bhagavan, the leelas of Bhagavan, how he played with the gopikas and all that. That is a Smarana Bhakti or his own experiences. He experienced many times the presence of Bhagavan. He remember all that and he entered that final stage. For Devi Lakshmi, that is massaging the feet of Bhagavan. That itself gave her bliss. For Prithu, one of the great kings of the ancient Bharata, worship of Bhagavan. Always he performs worship and by that he entered in that final stage of bhakti. Akrura, again and again prostrating before Bhagavan and imitating like Bhagavan, he entered in that para bhakti stage. And another one is the great bhakta, he is Hanumanji. He is said as Bhakta Hanuman, Dasa Prema. He wants to serve Bhagavan and that is by that way he merged with Bhagavan. Arjuna, by his friendship with Bhagavan, he considered Bhagavan as one of his best friends. How lucky Arjuna was. So by that itself, he entered in Parabhakti state. And Mahabali, by giving everything to Bhagavan, he gave everything, what all he had, what all he earned with difficulty, everything he gave to Bhagavan, and he entered in Bhagavan. He merged in Bhagavan. So this Parama Prema is subjective. It may differ from person to person. And basically, words cannot explain it. How can we explain the feeling of bliss? How, just like how can we explain the fragrance of a flower? We can say that you also smell it, like that we can say, but how can we explain the fragrance of the flower when for worldly life itself is like that? How can we explain the divine experiences? We cannot explain it, but one will be very clear in the experience of the presence of Bhagavan. So that is one of the indication that that bhakta is entering in the stage of para bhakti or parama prema towards Bhagavan. Even though these experiences are not common, they are unique and subjective. Some acharyas, they express their opinion, or they tell about their opinion of parama prema towards Bhagavan, or the indication when one experiences that parama prema towards Bhagavan, when they show that type of bhakti towards Bhagavan, which I will continue in my next upload. Om Namo Narayanaaya.